Good evening, everybody. This is I don't know the words, I just lost them. But anyways, Righteous Fire and W Gore for you here in Tier 1. EV500 had to hang out with his mom because it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to none of the mothers that are watching. Unless your mom's watching with you, then that's just cool.
That's impressive.
Yeah. What's it like having a mom?
F.
Oh, my mom's very much alive. I'm just curious. Anyway, we're here at Circuit Paul Ricard. I don't have a French accent. Circuit Paul Ricard here in France. I don't know. It's France. It's a track that some people are either just pretty good at or just can't get down for some reason.
Look, here's the thing. It's a great track for in-game. It's a terrible track IRL. Turns 3 through 5 offer quite a lot of time to be found, but not very easy to follow behind, especially in attempting to overtake, and I would be shocked if you see anybody wheel to wheel going just before that back straight, as it's basically like going too wide up Eau Rouge. You just compromise both of you, especially off the start. Then we've got turn 10, I believe it's called La Bosse or something like that, and then turn 11, one of the hardest tracks in the game, especially for those without lines, where you kind of have to brake uphill and off to the side, and then throw the car back into it and light up the rear tires to really get the power down and run out over that curb. I will admit, have not raced this in 2020, so I don't know what the track limits are like on that one, but it used to be pretty strict in 2019, so I assume it's the same, if not more strict, here in 2020. So we'll see if we get any laps invalidated on there. One thing that I think is uncharacteristic of Paul Ricard is, normally it's the slow speed corners are where the most time is found, and sure, that still holds up, but I think there are some really high speed corners here, like La Bosse and like 3 through 5, where there's just so much time to be found by getting it right, even though it's a very high-speed corner.
Yeah, it definitely has a flow to it that you kind of have to nail down. Both the racing points out first. Elegance and Lord Raptor. Not familiar with Lord Raptor's work, but we'll see what can happen today. So two DRS straights, one on the one along the pit lane, and then one on the quote-unquote backstretch, which in the F1 configuration has that chicane. They will hit about 340 kilometers an hour when they hit the braking zone for turn 8. In GT3 format, it's all just one long straight, so I mean, you really want to make F1 interesting. Get rid of that chicane and go. They'll be revving it out when they approach turn 10. Let's see if they can still take it flat at that speed. We're going to hang out with Elegance for the first lap. Coming up here, flat out. Want to drop down to about 5th. Use all of the curb on the inside as you can. He misses a little bit there to set up good for here, but he maintains flat out into the first little right, left, right section. A little bit of lockup from him there. You really want to get this right so you can open it up and play with the throttle and then really get on it early to get as much speed down the straight as you possibly can. Long DRS zone, overtakes are going to happen here. Get as right as you can for the entrance, carry as much speed into the chicane as possible. Eating as much of that curve just like he did there. Keeping it nice and tidy, a little bit loose here and there, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Just means he's on the limits.
I know there was some debate back in either 2019 or 2018 if they should remove that chicane and really let it be high speed all the way down into here would be the first proper braking zone. I don't know. What do you think of that? I think that would be interesting, but I mean, that would be a Baku level straight into not a huge braking zone. I know we saw Vettel and Valtteri Bottas overtake there in 2018, but that's because they were on such faster cars. They were overtaking the midfield cars.
Second racing
I don't know
point
about... Sorry?
Second racing point causing a yellow flag in the third sector. Elegance crossing the line with a 128.6. Not a great lap, but that'll get him up there a little bit. Yeah, they're already hitting 340 by the time they get to the chicane. I mean, you get rid of
They
that
definitely
chicane.
have to adjust the gear ratios.
I don't know if they wouldn't be able to take turn 10 flat. They would have to slow down, which could be interesting. To see who has the downforce to make it through there. Mr. Hood coming through with a 128.9 for P2. OA with a 129.2, just cutting all of the track. Looks like he went. Nope, he is literally just cutting all of the track.
Quick out lap, in lap, something like that. Man's goated.
Yeah, you can get away with it.
Yeah. So we've got 18 drivers here. Fluffy Dave should be leaving. He's not on the official roster. He's more than welcome to join at any point, but unfortunately you can't randomly join ARC lobbies without being on the roster, so he will be forced to leave at some point, or we might have to restart the lobby.
Who is Fluffy Dave? I think you can kick him.
I was told I can, but when I go into Race Director and I hover over him, I can't kick him. I know I can kick him in the lobby, but not once we're in. I don't know.
You should be able to.
Oh, he left. No, he didn't.
Whose friend is he?
Rogue or Ruda's. We PM'd him, so he should be leaving soon. But I can't kick him.
It's a bold move.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know who sits around waiting and randomly joins a league race, but it happens from time to time. Anyways, I have to admit, I'm thoroughly excited for this race. I think this was one of the better races we had back when we did it in 2019, and I think we've got a lot closer of a field here, especially with the two McLarens and the two Alpha Tauris, with Tact being in the mix there with his teammate missing another race, unfortunately. But really a tight grid in T1, and I'm really excited to see the kind of racing we have here, because I think that this could, and this is just a guess, obviously, that this could be Austria levels of overtaking and re-overtaking, but without the DRS train, because you have such a long straight. And I think that could be really interesting here when you have people equal on pace. And it's very possible it could just be a DRS train. I very well could be proven wrong. And if anybody knows the answer to that, if they've done a league race here or watched some, feel free to leave that in the chat. But I'm thoroughly excited for this. I think it's going to be a good race. We've got the strategy here is an easy soft hard. Excuse me. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Rogue go for the medium hard. There is some benefit to that, obviously, being able to stay out later and really punch in your lap times and then have pressure tires at the end. But, you know, you're not going to be able to qualify as well. Maybe him thinking with missing Bag and a few of the other championship rivals that, you know, he's not going to have that many more places to overtake and try to make that alternate strategy work. But it's whatever happens. I think it's going to be interesting strategy-wise. But yeah, soft hard, the default here. It's very easy to make happen, and the softs do hang on for quite a while, lap 8 or 9, actually, even if you qualify on them.
Ruda coming across the line, almost invalidated in Sector 3, but he will set a 128.5, so provisional pole currently. It was a very clean-looking lap from him.
Ahead of,
just less than a tenth ahead of Elegance there.
And Elegance has been a very strong midfield runner, so I don't think that that's going to be close to our pole time if we see Tact or Rogue get out there. I think it's going to be 3 or 4 tenths off, but especially with Terry only being 5 tenths off on the mediums, I think the mediums are fairly substantially slower here. But I could be wrong there as well. You know, I haven't raced this in 2020, so I should hold on to those reservations. That being said, I think we've got a lot more pace here. I think we'd be looking at a low 128, maybe even a high 127, but only time will tell. But yeah, our Elegance was, P7 or P8 in Canada, so I think there's a little bit more pace to be found on this track from him and Ruda. Both. I think both of them will improve substantially.
Yeah, I'd expect to see times more in the 128.2 region, I feel like. Yeah.
Sounds right, but, you know, we'll never know until the final driver crosses the line here with 8 minutes left in this qualifying session, or thanks to Kodu's God knows how long, maybe 9 minutes, maybe 9:30, maybe 10. But,
well, we do have a, quality's dry, and the race will be dry as well, so says our reporter, Kia. A few more drivers left to set laps. Niall just absolutely obliterating his lap Is he valid? Is that a
I
valid?
think
He
I saw
went
him
really wide.
yeah, I think I saw him go straight on through the
Oh,
chicane. No,
oh,
it was valid.
oh, interesting.
Okay.
You wanna see more look into that kicking thing? You should be able to.
Let's ride on board with tact here. No, I mean race director, no possibility there, so I don't think I can. But let's ride on board with tact XO here, possible contender for pole position here. Let's see, down into turn 3 here. Important to take a lot of curb and a lot of curb in the exit. He goes a little bit shy on that inside curb there for turn 4, but then he gets a good line through 5. Not really running out as wide as you'd like to, but here you want to make sure you dip at least 3 tires on no. He's going to keep it, so not really maximizing and using all the track there. There's quite a lot more that you can use there without invalidating. That really helps get the power down. That being said, he wasn't struggling with the rears, so he didn't lose that much time, but it really just helps you save the tires a little bit more and really get the power down more comfortably through here. Through the chicane, you want to make sure you cut as much of that inside and run out wide. Looks like he struggled with the rears there a little bit on that outside curb. Always tough to get the power down there. A bit easier in qualifying than it will be in the race, but still not very easy. Cuts a little bit of the track there with an inside line using the rumble strip down at the Lobo. Say here he's gonna not do a great job on braking. You don't want to get on the throttle that early. You want to really just coast with your speed and not brake that much, and then let the car's momentum carry it through. Brake at the end, turn the car in, and slam on that power versus braking really hard earlier and then having to use that power, because there's that latency period between braking and power that you're going to lose about a tenth or two there. It does a good job through turn 11, 12, 13 was a little bit tighter than you probably want, but he's going to put the power down with DRS and cross the line to not set a valid oh, no, he does, sorry. With a 128.7, so really putting some more validity to Elegance and Ruta. I mean, no disrespect by that, but
While we're
really
on board
good
with
lap
tact,
from them.
OA putting down a 128.48. So another less than a tenth faster than the next car. Has anyone spoken to Mr. Dave?
Yeah, this is. He hasn't come out of the pits. It's possible we missed the message of him leaving, because I believe it would still show him on here. So it's very possible he already left.
Fair enough. Guess we'll see what happens.
Either way, yep.
Well, JD looking to set his first lap. Rogue still yet to do anything. The only other legitimate driver left in the paddock at the moment. JD very hesitant into 3, 4, and 5 here. Getting a little loose. Really use the rotation of the car on throttle there to make that happen. That actually looked pretty nice there at the end, but coming up to the chicane, not using as much of the curb on the left-hand side as he should be.
Yeah, well, you know,
for probably in the top 10 here, this lap is going to turn out to be, but
it's a tricky thing, the curbing is on certain tracks, because it's not so much of a slam dunk for some people, especially with their setups, because using the curbs and making the turn wider obviously gives you an advantage, but it is at the cost of unsettling the car, and some people who aren't comfortable enough with the car, or aren't super comfortable, aren't super high level with their car control yet, can really struggle with that. And I think that's a reason why we see such a pace difference sometimes between beginners and intermediates and advanced, more of those faster drivers, is because not only do they know the lines to take, they're actually able to take them. When you take a turn 20 times, like in Singapore with the curve, you start getting used to it, and you can start implementing it a bit more. But I know certainly I did I did 2 or 3 league races on Singapore where I never ran out wide on turn 1. I always just stuck on the track, and then trying to come to the ARC one and do it. I practiced it for 4 or 5 days, and then when I did it in qualifying, I completely binned it and lost the rear and lost like 3/10 on my final lap, which put me down in 5th, and subsequently I crashed with you. But car confidence is everything, and the curbs really unsettle that.
don't want to. Can you check your microphone again? It's popping again.
Yep.
So far, Rogue the only driver left to set a lap. Everyone else, half a second separating P1 to P7, almost P8.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
Less
Rowe
than a
getting
full
out of the way there too.
less than a
Sorry.
full second separating the top 12 with action on those mediums. Oh no, he's still in the pit, so I don't think he qualified on the mediums, did he? Yes he did. No he did not. I apologize. Terry set his time on the mediums, as did Sahil.
Okay, is my mic any better?
It is not.
What's going on with it?
It's just crackling as you speak.
Yeah, I don't. It's gotta be software because how the heck does an XLR crackle?
Well, loose connection? I don't know. Ruda coming across the pit straight to finish his second flying lap for today, and he will take provisional pole with a 127.999. That is more of a lap that we're looking for. Very, very well done from him.
I 127, as is what you and I theorized a little bit ago, and we'll see if it can get any slower. Sorry, any
It is
faster.
now worse.
Yeah, finally out on. Oh, it's worse.
Yeah. Anywho, we're gonna hang out with Rogue for a little bit. Rogue, definitely one of the faster drivers we have, but always struggles in qualifying. I feel like he's always pushing way too hard in qualifying, and usually invalidates his laps.
Great racer, and he definitely's got some raw pace in qualifying, but he really struggles to put the laps together.
Oh, still crackling, and now you're very quiet. Kill Discord, reopen it. Terry cutting. Ooh! Terry slammed into the wall. Not sure what's going on there. But yellow flags in Sector 1 for his Williams. He literally just beelined it directly into the wall there. So not quite sure why. But we'll have to take a look at that and figure out what the purpose was.
I just saw we had Terry slam into the wall. Is my mic any better?
No. Well, I guess we'll live with it.
No, hold on.
Alright. Yeah, so that was weird. That was weird to watch. Action out on mediums. Currently on an outlap, I assume. Lots of people really utilizing the cut the track feature here at France to get their in-laps and out-laps done. Last lap's coming here as our timer says qualifying is over, but since one of the Cody bugs we have to deal with is when a spectator hosts the lobby, the timing board is a little bit off. So we will see how that goes, but I assume that action will be starting his lap on the mediums. Uwe going out has already crossed the line and will be looking to take pole from Ruda, so we'll ride on board with him and see what kind of sector times he can put down.
Not to undermine it. Is my mic any better?
It is.
All right, great.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, I'm a little disappointed that Amazon lost me my wheelbase because this is looking like a good win, and I could have gone wheel to wheel with Ruda, that nerd, you know what I'm saying? Or more likely would have ended up 20th and crashed.
Unless Ruda was right behind you, in which case he would probably rear-end you.
Especially on the formation lap. Love you, Ruda.
Yep.
Here's the thing. We have got... I think ARC should be very proud. With one team in particular we're having some issues with, and they know who they are. But everybody else, we really don't have any hot lappers here, which is not something you could say for most leagues. Most leagues have, forgive me, Euro trash that can do hot laps and can't race, and there's just these incidents that you'd think they had never raced before. But we really don't have that in the ARC. I think we have a very clean grid, with 2 exceptions that have been dealt with, but that happens from time to time. Not everybody's perfect, and some people have egos, and you know, when you don't care about the consequences, you know, what can you do? But I think we have a very clean grid here, and I think we've got some really intelligent racecraft-wise, like, you really don't see that many bad
Ooh,
moves in
Gypsy,
ARC.
Gypsy
So,
improving 4/10 to come across the line for P3 as the last drivers are starting to finish up their laps now. A few people have abandoned laps that they were on, so this is looking like grid. JD coming across the line for P5, moving way up the board here. So Heel improving up to P3, knocking Gypsy out of the top 3. We'll occupy the second row with him, and that looks like all of our drivers. And hopefully Fluffy Dave is not in for the race.
yeah, you know what he honestly did? He probably left because he never went out, and so, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have to figure out what happened with Terry, because he was just cruising along.
Ah,
and then
Nicholas Latifi and Antonio Giovinazzi have joined us on the grid here today,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen. We have Jesus and Canadian Coffee Dude.
Canadian
So,
Coffee Dude.
Interesting grid. We've got Rogue, you'd have to say, out of position in 6th place. And, yeah, could Ruda pick up another win? 3/10 clear of the competition with Sahil up to P3.
Yeah,
Rogue down in P9.
Yeah,
Were our
he.
timing screens off, or did I just blatantly miss that?
No, we were on board with him. You were dealing with your
Oh, boy.
microphone at the time. Yeah, he. Again, he either has a really, really good qualifying or not.
And I can't help but feel very disappointed I'm not racing in this. So much potential.
Well, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mathematically I would have had to come in and win all 8 races, and then I still would have lost by 12 points to Terry. But Terry's in 10th, Rogue intact or nowhere. I mean, come on, guys. What is this? Just kidding. I think we'll see some good racing, and I think that it's going to be a good race. Ruda at the top. Can he defend his lead?
Yeah, see if he can get a good
And
start.
hold on. Sahil, not known for his good starts. I'd be surprised if he finishes 3rd, come around.
Tact Spun taking your
finish.
advice for the right-hander in Sector 3. Which right-hander would that be?
Labose, I think, where you go low and let the momentum of the car carry you.
11?
No, I think 11 is the uphill one, so I think that's turn 10. Would be my understanding.
No, turn 10 is the high speed at the end of the straight. Turn 11
so
is the
then,
one
yeah,
where you
turn
just
11.
kind of like downshift through it.
Yep. Let the momentum of the
Yeah.
Tact was braking a lot there, so that I told him to use the momentum. I don't know how you spun there. If you spun turn 12, then yeah, because I told you to use the curb, and that is, you know, as I was saying, you struggle with car control when you go over that curb. So,
Well,
I kind of warned you. That one's on your race engineer, Kia, for telling you to do that. You know, only do what you're comfortable with, gentlemen. Here we go. Last car is on the grid, and we will begin the formation lap. So Ruda taking his first pole position in as long as I can remember, especially in Tier 1.
Fluffy Dave is still on the...
Yeah, but it's AI. You can see here from him jumping, so I think he left but never retired.
So we're going to have to deal with a...
Yeah, I don't know. That's...
AI driver? How do you know it's AI?
I don't know that it's AI. There you go. If you ride on board with Stewie and then go backwards to look at the back camera, you can see he is disconnected.
Oh, so we're going to have a random car on the grid. Cool.
Yep. All right. Ruda, away from his first pole position in ARC, I believe. That could be wrong, but maybe he got it in Canada Tier 2, actually. I'm not sure. Either way, first pole position in a long time. His last win being Australia Tier 3.
Ah, Kia, welcome to the booth.
We are restarting because of the AI car.
Great. Can you tell Rogue and Ruda to not have their their interesting friends join the grid for a league race?
Well,
I feel like that's fair.
I'm to bail out of this one.
Although it's not really Rogue and Ruda's fault. Get a screenshot of the grid.
You get a screenshot of the grid.
I can't. I already left to go remake the lobby. Right,
well, it's on the stream, homie.
You can't reverse a Twitch stream, buttface. Sorry for the language.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah.
All right, let's throw up the splash screen here. Let me hop out of this. So that was fun. Fluffy Dave.
Is the stream muted?
We will be right back. until the very last second.
Rogue. It's always Rogue.
It is.
Look at that. It's Rogue. It's always fucking Rogue.
It
Stream's
would've-
not live, is it?
Yes, yes, it is.
Sorry about that. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. That's you're gonna get there for that.
It is always Rogue. Drew saying, "I need F1 tonight. Spain was boring today." I mean, Spain's always kind of boring to watch as a race. I mean, obviously,
No spoilies. It was a good race. Don't at me. It's tension filled. I wouldn't watch it again, but watching it live was entertaining.
tension filled for who was going to win, sure, but for the rest of the grid,
Well, who cares about the rest of the grid? This is F1.
I'm sure they do.
Well, yeah, they do, but they suck. Look at them. They can't even challenge someone who's spending 4 times the amount of money. Incompetent idiots.
I do wonder what next year is going to look like with teams like with last year's performance from Racing Point and really not much changing. I mean, really just a livery changing. Like to see Aston Martin not doing so hot.
Well, no, it was a pretty huge change. The low rate cars. That's the reason Mercedes and Aston were the only 2 low rate cars because Aston.
They're the same car.
Yeah, exactly. But the low rake has, I mean, not to be Otmar Snaffenauer, but it has affected. I mean, that's why Red Bull was faster than Mercedes were those changes.
You know what they should have done then?
What's that?
Gone with a higher rake.
But then they wouldn't have the Mercedes.
Wow, the rules are making us slower.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't think it's happened very often that through a giant regulation change, the fastest car remains the fastest car. I know Mercedes did 2014 regulation changes phenomenally, and then 2017. But 2017 wasn't huge changes. I think if I'm not wrong, it kept the philosophy of the cars available. Just 20 seconds left, because everybody had to load their setups and stuff. So, but yeah, Mercedes came out of 2017 still the fastest. I think if they come out of 2021 as the fastest and dominate again, I don't think there will be any debate that they're not the greatest Formula One team. And that's someone who's very tired of Mercedes. I'm not trying to, stroke their ego, but I think it'll be pretty hard to debate they're not the greatest team that's ever been on the F1 grid. If they can dominate for 10 years in a row.
They took what they were given, and they did very well with it, and they continue to do well by virtue of Formula One's positive feedback loop. So it's not they didn't do anything wrong.
No, of course not.
It's just
Any
kinda
oozles.
boring.
Let's get back to it. Ruda on his first pole position in ARC Tier 1.
Just friggin' taking off here.
His last win. Yeah. When you have new pole position riders, they don't often know how to read a formation lap or a safety car restart, but either way, we've got Ruda here. First and last win in ARC because we're not counting Tier 2, which he never should have been in.
I'm getting some lag.
Yeah, me too. On Ruda's end. Was Australia Season 3, where he beat me. We had a great battle for, I think it was literally like 26 laps. It was super fun. That was Ruda's first race. He drove flawlessly and really made it a great race. And we'll see if he can win again. I think he's always had the ability, but he's not always there on the pace, and he's certainly not the best wheel-to-wheel driver as far as rear ending is concerned. But hey, if he's got no car in front of him for once, let's see what he can do. Yeah, I think this will be a great race. And as I said at the beginning, thinking Rogue was out of position in 6th, he's certainly out of position in 9th and 10th. So we've got Tech and Rogue going to be going wheel-to-wheel at the beginning, and Terry. I don't really know what his pace is around here, but he opted for the hard tires. So 1st through 10th on the soft tires, 11th through 17th, all on the mediums except for Terry in 12th, opting for the hard tire. I think he has made the right decision because the strategy here, as I said, is a very easy soft hard. It's a very tricky soft medium. Now, maybe if you do the mediums first, you can stretch the softs when they don't have the fuel in the car, especially since you're getting a brand new set of tires, not having to quali on it, which they will.
Just gotta be better with your tires.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm not sure, actually, if the medium hard will definitely work, but I don't know why that would be faster than starting on the hards and going soft like Terry did. But one thing is for certain, it's a mixed-up grid, I think, and I think it's going to be very interesting as the last car here, Stewie, approaches the grid into his grid slot with Niall rounding out the slot in front of him in 16th position. We go to Ruda, leading from pole position for the first time in Tier 1 as the lights come on here. We're going to have the spectator glitch, so I don't want to jump it, but it is 5 lights on for ARC Tier 1 France. It is lights out and away we go. Sahil getting a jump start even though he really stalled there on the grid. And as I said, I'd be surprised if he held the lead or he held third place. But OOA getting a flyer of a start past Ruda and up into first position. Chipsy behind in third, making up a place there with Hood, making up a place on JD, who was struggling. Rogue already up to 6, but is going to make some massive contact and turns into JD about 3 times there. And he's out with huge wing damage. I can't be certain, but Rogue turned in on JD like 4 or 5 times there in a row. I don't know what he was doing. Really struggling with the rears there. Could have been a 2-way incident. I don't want to judge it without seeing the replay. Unfortunate for both of them with Rogue's race indefinitely ruined without a safety car here. We've got the 2 racing points. Elegance falling way back after that contact with Rogue, finding himself in 15th position. Further up the grid here, we've got Chipsy possibly getting a move made on him by his teammate.
Sorry, Pizza Parker and Tact got together and sent Tact way off into the nether realm, but Pizza Parker managed to get away with it coming onto the straight here. But Tact is going to be suffering from that one.
Wow, this I'm really bummed I'm not racing. Free win. Nah, I'm kidding.
Yeah, OOA got a great start.
And Terry up into 5th position on those hard tires. He is going to be a force to be reckoned with if they can't pull away from him. Crucially, already 3 seconds behind them. And definitely, yeah, you'd have to say 2 of the people you think would be contending for the win out.
Elegance losing it in sector 3 there. He's still going, but yellow flag is Tact comes up to him coming through turn 11.
Yeah, he had some serious damage from his incident with Rogue there. But so Rogue, Elegance, and Tact all going to have to pit. Further up the field, Ruda here, just 3/10 off, and we can see Hood very close in the back of Chipsy, gaining on him with overtake, using it, going to the inside here. Chipsy and Hood are usually very close on team communication, so I'd be surprised if Chipsy wasn't letting him through here or expecting this to happen. Takes the inside line, they're going to come out with a little bit less power, and that's just going to give Hood enough to stay clean. DRS will not be active this lap until they cross the start-finish line one more time, so I think Chipsy's going to be hard-pressed to fight this back on this lap unless he get a much better exit out of turn 6, which is not a guarantee. So Elegance down in 12th position, not pitting. Sahil pitting from 13th after basically stalling, after jump starting and then stalling. So I don't think he pitted for damage, sorry. I think he was serving his drive-through. But we've got Pizza Parker in 14th, Rogue in 15th, Tact 16th, and JD 17th, all having to pit for wing damage, presumably. No other reason to pit in this game because realism. And
action at the, or not action, but action by the drivers. Very close here at the top as Hood is starting to catch up to the back of Ruda as they're going to come across the start-finish for the next lap. The top 4 are all separated by less than a second each, and then Terry 5 seconds back in 5th with the action right on him with a few cars kind of leading a train. Let's see if they can all catch up and make something happen here. But bound to see a fight happening here for P1, it looks like.
Yeah, Terry falling 2 seconds off that lap without damage, so those hard tires, he's really struggling on that. As you mentioned, Action trying to get past him, but the 2 Mercs riding in 3rd and 4th position here respectively with less than a second gap between them. It looks like less than 3 seconds separate the top 4 as we go and start lap 3. DRS will be enabled on this lap now as Mr. Hood sets the fastest lap of the race, overtaking Ruda on the inside. Looks like Ruda must have lost the rear end there out of the final turn. Going to get somewhat of a pseudo switchback here, and we'll see if he can use DRS on the long straight, but this is going to hurt his chance of a win here as Mr. Hood has closed or has extended the gap for Ruda after Ruda losing that to 1.2 seconds out of DRS of OOA. So he's either going to have to play the pit strategy here or he's going to have to be fairly significantly faster per lap to catch back up to him, which is always possible, but he's not going to have the helping hand of DRS, which is very important around here, as now, speaking of DRS, Ruda's going to open up the drag reduction system. It's like a letterbox at the back of the car that's going to open up and give him about 32 extra kph down the straight as we break into the chicane. Ruda able to make up just a little bit of ground, but not enough to get past Hood. Does Hood have the pace to keep second place? Does Hood have the pace to win this race? It's going to be very interesting coming up in these next few laps as Terry lost 1.4 seconds in that first sector there alone, as now Action on the back of him using his overtake, but Terry also using his overtake. Is Action going to be able to make a move down here into turn 11 or turn 12? Not either very well-renowned overtaking opportunities, but he does have the speed, and he's going to go down the inside into turn 11. Early on the brakes, not wanting to make contact with Terry, who's going to be able to keep that position, but that is clearly really holding up Action, getting on his way with those medium tires. But I think all the soft tires, especially Chipsy, who's going to be able to see that gap, as Ruda and Hood are going wheel to wheel into the final corner. Ruda going all 4 off the track to be able to get the power down here, but Hood does have DRS of the car in front. It looks like OOA does not have the pace to stay in front with the 2 cars behind fighting and able to stick within DRS. But as I was saying, as no passes are going to be made here, I think the soft runners can breathe a sigh of relief knowing that Terry is not at all able to keep pace with them, and their strategy still very much brings them into play here, being over a second a lap faster than those hard tires. They're not going to have to worry about it at the end. I think it's going to be close, but it's not a clear advantage towards Terry like it normally would be, someone on the alternate strategy getting that. Now, if there's a safety car on lap 15, 16, yeah, Terry wins the race, but you know, we'll just have to see. Ruda 4/10 off Mr. Hood, and Shipsy 5/10 behind him. We've got a little bit of a DRS train going around here, and we can see, quickly looking at the energy, actually, Hood and Ruda, or sorry, just Hood, is about 40% lower than both OOA and Ruda, but Hood really struggling out of the chicane there. That's the second time in a row he's had to go all the way to the other side of the track because he's just not quite able to make the move stick, make his tires stick, and puts him under threat of a move from Ruda here into turn 11, but not quite able to make anything just yet as they both close into OOA. Very exciting battle we've got going on so far.
OOA moving back and forth on the straight there before turn 10, trying to break the slipstream, as you might have seen quite a bit if you watched the race in Spain today. A lot of drivers doing
Daniel
that.
Ricciardo sucks. Who weaves on the straight? Euro trash got him.
So many drivers were doing it today.
Ruda seems so much faster through that third sector, but when it's important, it looks like Hood is just a little bit faster on those exits from the corners onto the straights, and he's able to keep it. Hood looking like he's going to go for an overtake here on OOA when we go through this straight again. And look, here's the thing about the DRS train is clearly we can see Hood is using a lot of his energy just to stay within it. Once you get past from the lead, it doesn't mean you're done, especially when we look at OOA with whatever energy that is. It's quite a lot.
It's one thing to catch up, it's another thing to overtake.
Murray Walker, the great Murray Walker. But yeah, falling back doesn't really mean anything here as Ruda at 95% energy, not even using it right now. As I say that, he uses it, and he's going to be using his overtake down the straight as Hood goes down the inside of OOA into this chicane. He's going to be very through, and Ruda past OOA as well. Now tries around the outside of Hood into the chicane, sends it down the inside a little bit, but easy on the braking, but not easy on the accelerator, and pushes himself into the side pod of Hood there, who's going to struggle with the exit now. Ruda could use his overtake to get in front as Hood is using it down to 28%. Ruda at 79% as Chipsy goes around the outside into turn 10. And's going to make the move stick. OOA wanted to look down the inside of Ruda there, but couldn't do it as his wing clipped the outside tire of him. Ruda down the inside of turn 11 of Chipsy, and he's going to retain that second place as Chipsy takes a wider line now under braking. Going to be able to send it back down the inside, but just on the outside, Ruda's going to be able to hold it, and he's going to have the acceleration line, and he's definitely going to get a car length ahead. But Chipsy putting on a real fight, trying to protect his teammate from losing that first position. Ruda and Hood had a massive slipstream down that pit straight. Sorry, not the pit straight, down the back straight, and it really helped him, but fighting through that exit allowed Chipsy to get a mega exit and really catch up alongside them. OOA finds himself from the lead into fourth after that lap, picking up a penalty for good measure. Let's see what they can do here as now Hood without DRS and about 50% less energy. Looks like he'd have to be a sitting duck to Ruda, at least in the next few laps. We'll see what happens after that.
Did kind of look like OOA got pushed a little wide by the overtaking move from Ruda, so we'll see if there's a report coming for that.
Yeah, questionable move from Ruda there. Not necessarily dangerous, just he broke really early to be safe, and then he just kind of dropped the power down.
It looked like they were going to go 3 or 4 wide through that turn, so...
Yeah, but no, he dropped the power and then kind of realized he had dropped the power too soon and kind of wanted to undo it as Hood having to burn even more overtake, Ruda not burning as much overtake to catch all the way to the back. Almost had to look up the inside there, but now with a little bit of a switchback, if he can get the power down, no, can't use second gear there, and he's going to lose the rears as Hood has done on the previous laps. Now, Ruda using a little bit of overtake, just 3 or 4% to really catch that up. Terry off the track. Looks like he came to blows with action and picking up a 3-second penalty.
There's also the second Ferrari of Stewie having some issues along the straight, causing yellow flag, so...
And Elegant's going to get past Terry. So it looked like Terry completely cut the chicane. Either he was forced off or what happened, but he picked up a 3-second penalty, and now action overtook him into turn 10 and has got a clear lead into turn 11. How long will those tires last, and how long will they allow him to keep in front of Terry before those hard tires really come into their own? Further up the field here, we've got Chipsy into the pits after picking up a penalty. Wait, someone picked up a penalty. No, maybe not. So Chipsy going for the undercut here, unless he had wing damage, but I don't think he did. So he's going for the undercut. He goes onto the hard tires. They'll definitely be able to last to the end. Will it be comfortable? 20 laps on those hard tires? Definitely doable. Further back up the field, we've got OOA 1 second out of DRS of the car in front, so not having the pace to stick with the lead at the moment. We'll see what he can do on those hard tires. But Ruda pushing Hood through those corners, sends it down the inside into turn 3 and around the outside of turn 4, and now going to have the inside for turn 5. Questionable move there when you have the entire straight to your disposal, and I think Hood's just going to get right back past him. But Ruda does have 95% energy, which he's using now, but Hood already using it, closing up with the slipstream with the ERS, and now with the DRS is going to go to the inside there. A little bit of a late move there from Ruda trying to defend that. Hood tries to push him back towards the corner. Bit of a clumsy race from these guys as OOA now sends it down the inside, and Ruda's going to lose too, but OOA outbraking himself. Ruda trying around the outside of the chicane, trying to get the power down on the curbing. He's going to be wheel-to-wheel with OOA, who's just going to have the outside, a little bit better power. He's going to be able to slip in front, but with the slipstream, is Ruda going to be able to fight him back into turn 10 or into turn 11? Looks like he's just too far back. A little bit of questionable move there from Ruda. I don't know why you'd make that move, right? Just why do you think you'd make that move into turn 3 there when you have the long DRS straight and you're that close?
Something about a gap and going for it, I guess. Some people just see red and they get that tunnel vision and they just like, I have to make this overtake, and it's a patience thing. But they're all so close together right now. I really don't think it matters too much as OA diving into the pits for his hard tires. Chewy came out behind Stewie but has gotten by him, so he's got a little bit of clean air in front of him, but he is quickly gaining on Sahil in front of him.
Yeah, and I would have to say, if you're Hood and your teammate's feeding you this information, presumably, you wouldn't want to pit right now. You'd want to try to stick it out for as long as possible because you don't want to get back into the middle of that queue with Elegance and Sahil, who are both on soft tires and are going to have to pit. So if you can make your tires last for a little bit longer. And Terry now has himself 9.5 seconds to catch up on those hard tires at the end. We'll see if he can do it, as his hard tires are probably now just about even, if not even a little bit faster than the soft tires. So he's going to start clawing just a bit of that back. So he picks up a 3-second penalty. But yeah, and I mean, absolutely no disrespect by this, but leading the race and fighting for the lead of the race, it's a whole different pressure than fighting for 3rd position, fighting for 5th position. There's, it's easy for me to say, why would you make that move? Of course I did say that, but it's, logically speaking, yeah, not a good move to make, but it's a lot of pressure to be fighting for the lead, and it's, as you said, sometimes you see red and you see a gap and you want the lead of the race, and you think track position's important, and in your mind that's the number one thing. As Ruda goes down around the outside of Labose, turn 11, Hood just squeezing him to the outside there. Oh, and they come to blows. Big contact there. I see a Merc wing off. I think I see an Alpha Tower, end plate missing for both of them. They're both going to dive it into the pits. If there was a place for it to happen, I guess it's best it happened here. They're both going to have to dive it into the pits. As major oversteer there for Ruda. Okay, Ruda going about 5 kilometers an hour on that pit entrance there. Not sure what he was doing there. Almost looked like a brake check.
Trying not to
Definitely
speed,
not
I guess.
intentional. Yeah, just not sure what that was.
Well, Terry
as I
will
said,
inherit the
race
lead
lead here, yeah. And just kind of a bit of clumsy racing from the top 4 there. Not what I would expect. A lot of contact, a lot of loose rears, and definitely contact is chipsing away. Not only were they getting an undercut there, but now with the wing damage, that's going to give them 4 or 5 seconds ahead. So the lead now net after a pit stop is going to be chipsing away. But don't count Terry out of this race. He might have a penalty, but he also might get that appealed because I think there was contact before that. So if he doesn't pick up another warning, he might be able to get that removed.
There are a lot of penalties being given around here. A lot more than I'd like to see around France. It's really not that hard to keep it between the lines here.
Yeah, but
I'd say it's probably for mostly cutting corners into corner entrances because you want to enter them so fast.
Yeah, definitely.
But Gypsy inheriting the race lead at the moment. I mean, OA is still right on his back, but they all have the same penalties. Ruda the only one without for the drivers, but they're coming out behind Stewie, whereas Gypsy and OA are ahead.
Yeah, I think we've seen some fantastic pace displayed by Ruda and Hood, but and I don't want to point fingers or say what happened there again without seeing a clip of it, but just looks like both of them weren't really in control of their cars there. I mean, granted, that's not really a space for 2 cars, but both of them lost the rears and subsequently went into each other. As Elegant, speaking of it, spins right in front of Ruda and Hood. Remember, ghosting is off here, and that was probably a little bit too close for comfort there for Ruda, having to slide right next to the rear of a spun car there of Elegance, who looks like he lost at exit of turn 11. just before the braking zone of turn 12, and almost loses it again into the pits. I don't know if you're riding on board there, but able to keep it under control and make it into the pit lane safe without speeding.
We were not.
Sahil also in the pit, so that's going to clear Chipsy now with 2.6-second gap to the car in front with OOA chasing him down. And yeah, if we look at the... there's about a 5-second gap back to Ruda than there is to Chipsy and OOA. So this is the net race lead here, and Chipsy and OOA are about 5 seconds off. And where does Terry factor into that once he pits for soft tires? Probably lap 18 or 19. So he's got a long way to go, and a safety car absolutely puts him in the net race lead of this, as it does for most of the medium tire runners. That's really going to help them get up into those podium positions.
Be hard pressed to find a safety car around here, I feel like, unless there's a severe accident.
Yeah, pretty hard to find a wall.
But those soft tires at the end are going to be very fast. And not quite sure what the pit time is here, but if Terry were to pit right now, I would put him around P11 probably.
I think he won't have too much trouble getting a podium. I think it'll be tough to get the win because you have a DRS train going on, and you can be a lot faster, but there's really only 2 places to pass, and if you've got 2 cars in front of you, all with DRS on the subsequent cars in front of them, it's not that easy to pass around here in a DRS train. But OOA, Chipsy really making it look easy, so hats off to them. Same with Hood and Ruda, you know, a lot of good action. It just looked like everybody was so eager for the lead of the race, they kind of forgot they had rear tires, and
Ruda battling
said, "You've
with
gotta be kidding me."
Stewie.
Yeah, getting past, but Stewie wanting to fight that back on the 10-lap-old mediums, using his overtake, but not quite able to make it, as Hood has really fallen back from Ruda there. I don't know if he lost a bit of confidence after that contact, or if he just had a bad lap and he's about to pick it up, but yeah, we'll see. Ruda obviously looked like he had a bit more pace when not in the DRS, as we can see here. Still about 50% more energy as he had during that whole battle. So really saving his energy there, which means he did have quite a bit more pace. So now that Hood's not within his DRS, is he really going to struggle with that?
Well, we've still got DRS from Stewie, so at least he's going to get something here pretty soon. But yeah,
it looks like he's going to send it down the inside here into the chicane. Late braking, he's going to have to make it. Yep.
I think he's definitely got the speed to catch back up to Ruda, but well, like you were saying, Ruda not using a lot of energy and Hood expending most of his.
The question also remains, Righteous. What do you think are the chances of Ruda catching back up to OOA and Chipsy if these guys don't fight that much? If they just keep pounding in the laps, do you think he's 4.8 seconds faster by the end of this race?
Well, we'll have to take a look at the next couple laps, but he's gaining a little bit of time here and there on OOA in front of him, and they're being held up a little bit by Lord Raptor right now.
Yeah. Chipsy obviously going to make a pass here if all goes well, and he doesn't lose the rear end here going down into second gear. Hopefully shorts the third. He does. Lord Raptor struggling with the traction as well, going to the inside. OOA, if he's lucky, might even be able to get here, but he's kind of sitting in between the slipstreams, not picking one, but looks like he'll be cleanly past Raptor and able to challenge Chipsy down the back straight. So Chipsy up to P5, OOA up to P6. Ruda and Hood, the previous de facto race leaders, now down in 8th and 9th after an incident, and Terry picking up a 3-second penalty, so no way he'll get both of those removed. So Terry has got to finish 6 seconds ahead of the competition. No way. Terry's out of contention for the win in my book here, especially with Chipsy, OOA only having 3 seconds and Ruda having no penalties. I think without a safety car, going to be almost impossible for Terry, because look, here's the thing with the hard tire, with the undercut. If he was as fast as the soft tires, you know, or he was able to keep pace with them and not lose 10 seconds, like if he was 5 seconds off, he'd have a decent shot. But when you lose 10 seconds, now you're sitting on these older tires, and right now Ruda, Hood, Chipsy, and OOA are on the same tires as you, just 5 laps younger. They're getting a huge undercut on you. So they're getting an undercut on you, and then you have to try to make up all that time after the fact, possibly with traffic. You have to make the overtakes, and he's got to get 6 seconds in front.
And even if you're,
I think it's going to be tough.
Even if you're 3 seconds a lap faster, by the time you pit, it's not enough time to recover that. I mean, he'll finish he'll finish decently high considering his starting position, but or he has the opportunity to rather. But yeah, at this rate, I mean, if he pits right now, he's coming out in P10, so the field's starting to spread out a little bit towards the bottom. The top really kind of staying together here.
Medium
Lord
runner,
Raptor.
SoCal pits after 11 laps.
Yep.
When are the other mediums going to pit? Oh, Lord Raptor, that's what you're saying. Sorry, yeah, into the pit. So Chipsy and OOA basically in clean air because they're not 2.8 seconds a lap faster than Madman, and I think Madman in action will pit this lap.
Yeah, they're gonna have to pit pretty soon. What's their tire wear looking like?
Could not tell you.
You don't have the telemetry open?
God no. I tried and it was killing my frames, but that's not a coding thing. That's a me thing.
Well, I will tell you.
Yeah, I bummed it. Oh, and sorry, just to cut in here.
Not enough information.
Okay. Well, Road picks up a 3-second penalty if his race needed any more slaps in the face, and just an unfortunate race from him. An incident really early on has really just kept him out of contention for this race. Again, no idea whose fault it was, just an unfortunate incident that left them both a little bit, him and tact, and elegance.
Action's telemetry is at the private, but Madman's sitting about 47 to 50% on average.
Yeah, they should pit to the hards because they're not going to be able to make it to the soft period, so might as well not stretch it out on these tires, and the hards will be comfortable and faster. As Action now pits, and I suspect Madman will go into the pits as well. Yeah, he does. So now Chipsy and OOA are left to chase down Terry, and if Terry pitted this lap,
if he pits this lap, he's coming out probably P7 or 8.
See, because he could go on to some nice mediums for the end, which I believe are really nice tires around here. They just, they're not...
OOA making a move past Chipsy here. Chipsy doesn't look like he's fighting him too hard.
Ruda picks up a 3-second penalty. But yeah, now, so, now we actually have the gap is 11 seconds behind Terry. So you'd think with 7-lap fresher tires, if my math isn't terrible, 7-lap fresher tires, he'd be able to start closing this gap in 2-3 tenths a lap, and I think Terry's going to find himself in trouble. But it's possible Terry was just struggling at the beginning, and now he's got the pace. Because if he can extend this gap to 14, 15 seconds...
McLaren causing a yellow flag in Sector 1.
And Chipsy down the inside of OOA. Oh,
outside.
Never mind, that's OOA down the inside of Chipsy. Yeah, a little bit of contact there on the front wings. Hopefully no damage for either of them, but OOA very aggressive defending his 10-second penalty. I don't even know where you get a 10-second penalty.
He
for cutting the chicane.
Yeah, it looks like he just dove across. He might have spun out because he is not moving right now.
Oh, SoCal stopped. Yeah, no, that's SoCal. SoCal got disqualified for parked in a dangerous location. His car was glitched in the pit lane. He was at a standstill in the pit lane for like 5 or 10 seconds, and the other cars had to pass him. I don't know. Either way, didn't look like he was in the points at that point. Anyways, so hopefully he meant to do that. I don't know.
Disappointing, but yeah, I mean, if you're not in the battle, it's a tough break, but at least you're not losing out on anything, I guess, at that point. Chipsy with not a lot of energy, and OOA with about twice as much right now. Maybe just slightly less.
Just to cut in, SoCal put in the chat his gas pedal stopped working when he came out of the pits, so that's why.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
hashtag AlphaTauri problems. Engine doesn't work.
Pretty sure he's in a McLaren.
Yes, but I was referencing real life.
Yuki Tsunoda.
I feel like the car wasn't broken. Maybe the engine did shut off, sure. But like, I feel like he should be able to get it restarted. I think he just kind of gave up.
Well, I can't blame him for not wanting to race Spain. So Ruda has closed about a second in the last 4 laps. This puts him on pace to catch him around the end of the race here, if all things keep going. OOA, the leader now, with about the same energy, 24% to Chipsy's 28%, but Chipsy with DRS, and so he should be way ahead of him. So Chipsy definitely struggling for pace a little bit here.
I'm going to hang out with OOA on the cam. I got to go grab something. I'll be right back.
All right. Watching OOA through turn 12 here. This is probably the hardest turn on the track, especially if you've got no line, but he navigates it pretty well, using a lot of that outside curb to find pace, but not quite as tight of a line as I would have expected through 13 there. Or, wait, yeah, I don't know if that's 13 or 14. Either way, maybe that doesn't even count as a turn. Not the normal line, but it looks like he gained time, so very well might be faster than the one I'm used to. Chipsy with DRS, 0.3 behind, and Terry pits on lap 16 for mediums. So Terry has gone hard to medium and is going to find himself in 5th place, might even get passed by the Action. He does. So Terry has got a battle on his hands for the next 11 laps if he's going to win this race. 2.5 seconds behind Action on fresh mediums, 7 laps fresher than Ruda and Mr. Hood, 9 laps fresher tires. an OOA and Chipsy, and not to mention a compound softer. I don't think he'll be able to win, but it's going to be close. As Chipsy now goes for a move down the inside of OOA, that's going to be an easy DRS pass. He's going to be over and through and can return to the racing line here, braking on the outside of that chicane. I believe, let me do a penalty check here and just see
we
what
got him
we've
up on screen right now. Top four
Oh,
have
okay.
all
Yeah.
3 seconds.
3
The
seconds.
action with none. Terry and Sahil with 6, and then so on and so forth down the line.
It's so interesting. Terry going for the mediums, not stretching to the soft tires, which is kind of a guaranteed fastest lap, but I guess he thought he was losing too much time and wanted to get off those tires, but he finds himself undercut by the action on the hard tires, and every lap he spends behind him just makes it that much harder to win, and he's really not gaining on him that much, so we'll see what happens here. But yeah, I think Terry not going to be in contention for the podium positions here, as we've got a yellow flag for Rogue spins. Rogue spins at the high spin chicane or contact. It looks like there's a bit of a front wing there, so yeah, maybe he made contact with another driver. He's weaving into the wall.
You know what?
He just crashed into the wall there.
Rogue not doing as well as I feel like he should be.
Yeah, not at a good few races. Oh, and it looks like he almost went for an intentional crash there, but then thought better of it. And now does a donut. I'm not sure what he's doing. Yeah, Rogue.
He has all of his tires are the hottest. They were all like in excess of 120 degrees, some 130. So
Where was this version of Rogue when I was racing? 3 wins against Rogue. Not against these guys, because OOA and Chipsy, Root on Hood have some rapid pace that I think.
again, France, one of those tracks, one of those circuits.
Yeah, these guys' pace is blistering. I think
Very
Rogue
good by the
actually
action.
was genuinely struggling with pace today. I could be wrong. I don't want to say that without seeing his laps, but just seeing not really recovering there, looks like he was. I think these guys are just really fast around here, and good on them. They're looking really strong here. Yeah, Rogue went into the pits, DNF'd and left, so he followed the proper procedure, so good on him for that. So yeah, sorry, that is, I'm just looking now, that is turn 14, so there's, yeah, so turn 14 and 15 is the last one. I was thinking it was 14 turns. But Chipsy 6/10 off of him with 10 laps to go. So close behind, OOA able to recover a little bit more energy, and now is about 20% ahead of Chipsy. Of course, Chipsy has DRS. Ruda closed another 8/10 in 2 laps, but now Hood closing on him, so if they battle, that's really going to hold them up from getting to the lead, which might be tactical from Hood, burning his ERS to, as Terry sits the fastest lap of the race, now 9 seconds behind, and he's got to get 3 seconds ahead of Ruda to secure a podium position, and then another 3 seconds, and then another 3 seconds to secure the lead. So I think the lead is out of the question for Terry without a safety car. And then, obviously, yeah, definitely out of the question. Now picks up another penalty, so not a good race from Terry. But this might be a tactical move from Hood to burn his ERS and catch up to Ruda and slow him down and allow Chipsy, who maybe is just sitting in the wing here of OOA, waiting to make a pass when he's got the energy to get past him. I don't know. He's using his energy pretty weirdly for that, so I definitely could be wrong. But Chipsy picks up another 3-second penalty. So OOA looking like the strongest candidate for a win here. If he can keep it on track and if he can hold that position, he's doing a good job with ERS relative to Chipsy. About 10% ahead of him. And Ruda was 68%, but crucially, 3 seconds behind, and he's got the same amount of penalties as.
Elegance picking up the fastest lap. Down there in 15th position.
Yeah.
Just saying, none of you will get it today. Good for him, I guess.
So Hood and Chipsy both just about 5/10 off their competition, yeah.
Yeah, and Ruda's catching up. Now only 2.5 seconds back. And OA and Chipsy not really fighting with each other. So
yeah, it just depends if Hood can try to slow down Ruda for his teammates battle for the win here. Otherwise, Ruda might be the favorite with 75% energy, although Hood's got 50. I think this is going to get really close at the end of the race, as it looks like OOA and Chipsy don't quite have the pace of Ruda and Hood, but they're certainly not far off. So I think it's going to get really close. As you can see them just up the road. I mean, when you watch on screen, they're nowhere. They're tantalizingly within reaches. Ruda's closed it to 2.2, so 7/10 in that first sector almost. And he's not using his energy. So I think Ruda, he's going to have to make a few overtakes, and he's going to have to keep it clean and be patient. But He's got 8 laps. There's no rush, especially when you're gaining this rapidly back down to 2.4 seconds off the straight, but that's just going to be courtesy of ERS and DRS for the 2 in front, which he doesn't have right now. So, yeah, but this is shaping up to be a very interesting race as Terry is catching about 1 second a lap, but 8 laps and he's 7 seconds off. His tires are going to be a little bit more worn, so I don't think he's going to be a second a lap faster at the end, and he's going to have to make 4 overtakes in a DRS train and clear 3 seconds. I know we kind of beating a dead horse here, but I think Terry's alternate strategy gamble did not pay off because of the penalties there. So I think we really should focus on these top 4 here with Chipsy. You'd have to say as of now, kind of being out of the running for a podium with 6 seconds penalties. Because even right now, he loses the position to Ruda and to Hood.
Well, we still have 7 laps for other people to potentially pick up more penalties, so anything can happen. But yeah, you're
Definitely.
wrong there. Ruda maintaining that sort of gap right now. If he's smart, he knows he's got it. Well, no, because OA doesn't have the penalty. Let's put the penalties up on screen because I'm trying to remember them and I can't. Yeah, so OA and Ruda with the same amount of penalties. So Ruda kind of slotted in for second right now, unless some of these guys pick up more track extensions. Terry up 7 positions, but he's going to lose that position to the action.
So Hood within 2/10 of Ruda, and Ruda falling back from Chipsy. So not quite on the pace right now. Maybe just chilling out, but he's got 76% energy. Where was that patience earlier? Use it. Get up there and get in the fight. Use DRS to charge it would be me. But I got to give credit to Ruda and especially to Rogue, who I think he learned this from. I would always be battling Rogue, not to monologue here, but it looks like the passes are a few laps off. I would always be battling Rogue, and I'd be comfortably in front by me. Well, not always, but in these situations, I'd be in front of Rogue. And I would be like, okay, broke like 1.4 seconds, got him out of DRS, everything's going good. And then I'd ask him how much energy he is, and the man is sitting at like 80. And it's like, why do you let yourself fall out of DRS? But then as soon as he gets it, there's just nothing you can do. He just uses it all for a lap and a half, and then he's 1.4 seconds in front. So there's definitely a strategy to it. And if I would just be concerned more if he's not gaining as quickly as he wants to. But maybe Ruda has found the pace and that he knows he has, and he's just being patient here. But I don't know.
Just saving it just so he can demoralize you at the end.
Yeah, just waiting for the last few laps and wipe the smile off their face.
Yeah.
As Lewis Hamilton once said. But
Ruda now up sub 2 seconds. Yeah, he's definitely got a lot of pace there in the first sector, but kind of loses it for the rest of the lap.
Yeah.
Chipsy making a move past OA here into the chicane.
Sorry, I missed that. Hopefully you caught that on stream. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, Chipsy just DRS move past OA. Same gap behind him as he had in front of him just a second ago.
Well, now he's got to just use everything if I were him, because you can't sit in the DRS of OA because clearly he doesn't have the pace, and maybe Chipsy doesn't have the pace to stay behind him, but OA does not have the pace to hold Ruda and Hood far behind. He might be able to hold him behind, but not far behind. And Chipsy's got to be 3 seconds clear of all these guys if he wants to win, and 3 seconds clear of Ruda and Hood to get the podium, which he is not as of now. So he's just got to use everything.
Ruda's tires 2 laps younger than the guys in front of him, and he's at 43 to 47% wear. They got 2 guys.
So sorry.
At the top.
Well, it's 2 laps fresher than Chipsy, 1 lap fresher than OA.
Yeah, it was highest common denominator, I guess.
That would be 1.
Thanks for being pedantic.
I don't know if that deserves pedantic, but Terry within 4 seconds, with 4 laps to go. So he is about a second a lap, but I think he's going to find himself just a bit off the pace, or just a bit off the position, and definitely not 9 seconds in front.
Yeah, but if he can stay 9 seconds in front of action, he can keep his position.
Yep, absolutely. So that's definitely what he's pushing for. You're 100% right, but by the end there, as Hood and Ruda go wheel to wheel, more contact into the chicane there as Ruda almost went into the rear wheel of Hood there, but Hood leaving the space at the last second there, probably realizing that it's pretty hard when you have all 4 wheels on the curb. He didn't get pushed off there. Ruda was just being cautious. So Learned a little bit of a lesson from earlier, and both of them very clean driving. So, I mean, that's what we want to see. Look, we want to see wheel-to-wheel battles, but it's no fun when people get wing damage. You want to make sure you keep it clean, and you know, when there's no money on the line, you know, what's the harm in letting them race an extra lap? If you've got the pace, you'll get in front.
Hood and Ruda have now caught up and are within DRS range.
After going wheel to wheel. So maybe Hood felt like he was bottled up, finally sent it, and is now going to chase down the leaders, or is he going to back off and hold up Ruda, knowing that he could secure that podium position for his teammate? Probably not. I think he wants the win, and he's only 1 second off of it, so...
Let them race.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what they're doing here, as Hood is struggling to keep within the fringes of DRS, but I think under braking here, he's going to have it with Chipsy being a little bit slower, maybe intentionally slower, to hold up OOA and let his teammate catch up a little bit. He's not off the throttle. He's not doing anything questionable, but there's nothing wrong with braking a little bit earlier for your teammate, provided there's not a car that's about to rear-end you, i.e. Monaco, i.e. a very dirty team that we don't need to speak about. But
OOA going for the DRS overtake here into the chicane, as we've seen so many times, and that will
still
be
better
quite
than no
easy.
overtake, I have to say. But look, this comes down to energy management. OOA with the second most behind Ruda, who's a good 45% ahead of Hood and Chipsy. If he's got a race engineer, he should be telling them to, you got 4 laps, Chief. Start using that and make these passes, because it doesn't matter how much energy you have, there's only 2 places to pass, and it's going to be pretty hard to make 3 overtakes in 1 lap. So he's got to make sure, not that he was going to wait till the last lap, but just should make sure he gets these done. If he can, as Hood loses it, Hood spins. And that's going to be Hood off at the exit of turn 11. Oh, heartbreaking. Looks like he just lit up the rears there in the middle. We saw that in that incident with Ruda, that he was struggling with traction at that portion of the track. At the exit of turn 11, when he didn't go wide, either to take a defensive line or to go wheel-to-wheel with Ruda, he just couldn't get the power down there. Either he was trying to get the power down the same as if he was out wide, and the tires just obviously aren't as straight, so you can't get the power down as well. But a brutal spin for him, going to relegate him down to 5th position there, provided no other spin. But that means we've got a 3-horse race out at the front with Ruda and Chipsy. Or sorry, yeah, basically a 2-horse race here with Ruda and OOA, the only ones with 3 seconds of penalties. Chipsy would have to clear a 3-second gap, which I think by now it's clear to say that's not happening without an incident. So Ruda's got to get past Chipsy, and then he's got to get past Hood. OOA, sorry, excuse me. I was talking about a yellow flag there. That's going to be Madman went off at the exit of turn 11 as well. Not sure if that was a spin or not. But back up to the front as we head down the back straight. Chipsy gaining. He's gaining on OOA. Is he going to send it under braking down the inside? He is. Late braking. Goes just a little bit deep there, i.e. Daniel Ricciardo. But OOA didn't try to hang it around the outside. Chipsy losing the rear end, and Ruda going wheel to wheel with OOA, making a little bit of contact. OOA getting the power down from a wider line on the exit of that chicane. Is going to be able to go all the way around the outside into turn 10. It's going to be close, but is Chipsy going to hang on? No, he's not. He's going to go slowly on the inside line, which is going to allow Ruda to go right past the outside, under braking for turn 11. He's going to be way in front with better traction there. But OOA with better power. This is going to be close coming into this last lap, as Ruda and OOA are battling for position here with penalties.
3 laps left.
And Terry, 1 second off of them.
Yeah,
So he needs to
gaining
clear a
lot of
3-second gap to Chipsy to get his position, and lock up there is not going to help him with that. He's got to pass all 3 and get 6 seconds to get the win. He's got to pass Chipsy by 3 seconds to get 3rd position, which I don't think is going to happen, because this DRS train is now. Ruda looks to the inside into turn 1 with 55% energy to OOA's 14%. He's going to really struggle to not keep that position, as Ruda's looking good for this win now with 2 laps remaining. OOA picks up another penalty, and that's looking like it has just sealed the deal for Ruda to get this win here. If he can keep it on track and if he can keep it clean, he just needs to not allow the cars behind him to get a 3-second gap in front of him with 2 laps to go. This is looking excellent for Ruda with 70% energy. He should be using it now. I don't know why he's not, but looks like he's being extra cautious. I just wouldn't allow any chances of OOA to hold you up if he gets back past you, but we'll see what happens here, as also Terry could be in the mix, and we could see an incident here. We know that France is... speaking of, Terry almost right to the back of the Merc of Chipsy there. Now using his overtake to maybe get an overtake into turn 10, but he's not going to be near close enough, even if he used his overtake there. So just trying to secure a slipstream here as Ruda with 43% energy to OOA's 14%. Ruda looking very good as we're about to enter the penultimate lap through turn 10 for the final, for the third to last time, sorry. Chipsy almost into the back of OOA there. I don't know if actually there might have been a little bit of contact there. Getting a bit impatient, Chipsy is, with that Williams breathing down his neck behind him, just 2/10 waiting to pounce and make that pass. Chipsy definitely knows that he's got to get 3 seconds ahead of him, which is nigh on impossible on a DRS train like this, especially if you can't overtake the first car, but it's going to be close. Terry using his overtake now in the slipstream of Chipsy. Chipsy also having DRS on OOA. Going to make this a little bit more difficult as Terry switches the inside here. Is he going to go late on the braking? He does, and Chipsy lets him through as Terry widely overshoots his braking point and then decides that the corner is also his and swerves back onto the racing line there. Good avoidance from Chipsy. Normal protocol would state that Chipsy just flies right back past him, but Terry really made an aggressive late move and swerved back onto the racing line there. It looks like Chipsy was expecting that sort of maneuver from Terry, so he slowed down a little bit there, knowing that he can't really battle for anything but third place right now. So probably a good call from him, but not something in general you like to see, as OOA and Terry now going to be fighting for that second position on track, but not in the standings, as that is going to go fairly safely to OOA. As a massive lockup from Terry there forced him to cut the exit of the chicane, but he's going to put the power down and use overtake. So we've had a very interesting race out in the front. These top four, well, top five now that Terry is in there, but we haven't had five. It's just been four minus Hood now.
It'd be a lot more interesting if there weren't
close.
so many penalties, but it is what it is right now. But yeah, it's definitely been a lot of on-track racing, which is been going pretty well. I mean, yeah, it's been
Terry
interesting to watch.
Again.
Yeah, I wonder if Terry's going to pick up even more penalties at this rate as we come up to the final lap of the race. Chipsy in a good position to secure third. Uwe definitely gave up his chance to win there. And
But
Ruda
looking
just
at this
kinda
pace
cruising.
differential, it looks like he maybe didn't have it. Ruda really saving that energy to the end and still having more energy, even though he's 1.5 seconds here. Chipsy's got to be careful, actually. If Terry can gain a second here this lap on those fresher tires, he's gonna pass Chipsy. So Chipsy better be burning all of his ERS, because you can be sure that Terry is, especially with that DRS, as he turns it on now before the DRS. He wants to get past OOA. He wants to clear that gap, and he wants to get a second to be able to get past Chipsy, who is just roughly 2 seconds off Terry right now. So if Terry can clear 1 second from here to the end of this lap, he will get a podium in third position, barring a penalty for contact, which we didn't see anything happen. So I don't know, but OOA with the switchback now using all of his ERS has nothing to lose. Terry and OOA both at 5%, Chipsy at 6%, so they're all burning it. And it's going to be very close here into turn 10. OOA with a better slipstream. Does he send it down the inside? No, he thought about it for 1 second, but Terry just holding his line, and OOA thinking better of it. Not much to gain from a move like that. And it is within 1/10 now if Chipsy loses this position or keeps it. It's going to be very close. Terry goes off track, might even pick up another penalty for that. No, he doesn't. So he's going to be safe to that, and I think he's going to cross the line and grab this podium. I think Chipsy lost touch just a little bit too much and is now unsafe by about 3/10. So now, OOA, Ruda takes his second win in ARC Tier 1, his first in 3 seasons, as Terry crosses the line second. He's going to lose second position. Is he going to lose third? No, he keeps third. Wow. By 0.5 of a second does Terry hold on to that final podium position. He's going to be happy with that. What a recovery drive from him after this battles with elegance and possible contact between them. He might even get a penalty removed. I don't know the warning situation, but it looked like maybe he was forced off. Maybe the incident was his fault. We have no idea. But the driver of the day has to be... I was going to say it has to be Ruda. I don't know. Maybe Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the driver of the day is got to be
Even with the
Terry.
penalties, he gets a podium out of it, moving up, 9 positions from the start.
That being said, congrats to Ruda. Second place last week, first place this week. Takes a victory in ARC Tier 1. And this one, I don't think there can be any doubt as to who deserved it. Even with a 5-second longer pit stop because of wing damage, he managed to fight his way back and make it stick. Congratulations to Ruda. Very well driven.
Yeah, nicely done.
Yeah. Very well done. 4-5 for the Mercandies, and Action finishing 1.3 behind Hood after his spin. In the top 6, Sahil finishing in the top 10, able to grab points, which is all good considering that horrendous start. He jump-started and lost 5 positions and then had to drive through, so that's really tough luck, but he made it work. Niall in the points as well. Congratulations. So that's as the kids say, that's a PogChamp moment. Yeah, I would think. Seems
Well.
action driver of the day. I'm gonna have to give it to Terry.
That's just because Action got the most positions off of off the start. The game is a simple creature.
Ah,
Well, that was interesting for France.
that was a race. Yeah, that was a good race.
This was a race.
I thoroughly enjoyed commentating Tier 1. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Righteous and I's departure from Tier 2. And, yeah, interesting race. So Pizza Parker and Lord picking up the final 2 points position with Tact and obviously Rogue DNF finishing outside of the points. They're not going to be happy with that, but there's one man that can be very happy tonight, and that's going to be Ruda, who I'm going to drag into the commentary channel. Welcome, Ruda.
Hey.
So if I'm not mistaken, that is your first pole position in ARC Tier 1 and your second win following Austria Season 3.
Is it my first pole position?
I don't know where else you would have gotten one.
Canada.
Oh,
Maybe?
that's right. Yeah,
I don't know.
Canada Tier 2. No, yeah, Canada Tier 2, but I don't know about T1.
I don't know about
Either
that.
way, good race. Bummed I wasn't out there to fight with you and perhaps murder you into a wall so I could have taken
Oh,
a
yeah.
victory. You know how we be. But, okay, can you explain to us what happened there with Hood?
Oh,
Looked
yeah.
like one or both of you lost it on the exit of turn 11 there.
Yeah, I went for a move around the outside, and
Yeah.
on the exit, we were side by side. He told me that he just lost the rears right
Okay,
into
so
me.
it was him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we noticed, or rather I noticed, sorry, right, just get called out, kid. But that when he took that inside line to turn 11 again on the exit, he also spun. So I think,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
He was struggling. That's unfortunate. But otherwise, to be able to make up that 5-second gap again, I think there's no denying you were the man with the pace today. You certainly saved your ERS better and used it when it counted on the last lap. And wow, very good victory. I mean, you guys were battling for the first 8 laps, and then the pit stops happened, and then you were battling for like the last 5 or 6 laps. I mean, that's got to be stressful. 3, 4 drivers, 5 drivers when Hood was there, all that close. I mean, any mistake puts you back, that many
Yeah.
positions. So, congratulations on the win. Well fought. I don't think it's anybody can doubt or say that you got that one lucky. You earned that one on track, and you drove very well. So, congrats.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, nicely done.
Yeah, he doesn't care what you have to say, nerd. Sorry, that was uncalled for.
So mean.
Well,
so mean.
everybody, that was our Tier 1 France stream. And next week you will be joined by Evie and whoever else. But I can speak for myself and say I thoroughly enjoyed commentating T1. Clean action.
Yeah, pretty well done by the top 4. Pretty well done by Terry to manage a podium out of all that.
Well, Tier 1, I can't wait to join you on track next week, and Righteous can sit and pout about it because he thinks AC is better just because it's a much better game.
Weird thing to say right now, but all right.
All right, everybody. Join us next week, or join us tomorrow for the Tier 2 race, which will also be in France, which will also be commentated by Righteous and myself. And then, of course, next week we will be in the Styrian Grand Prix. And some AC and ACC stuff that you can watch in the middle, but I don't think anybody that watches F1 actually watches that, and vice versa. So, yeah, don't worry about it. If you're really interested, you're already in the Discord, so you know when it happens. See ya. Nailed it.